Thank you for everyone for all today for joining us today, the meeting, the webinar today. My name is Leo, Channel Sales Manager at Yealink team. And today we are truly very happy to have with our special guest, Lonny from the Co1. Today, so we are discussing about Yealink's the next level features in video conferencing. So for today's webinar, we have the 5 part for it. As for the first part is Yealink, who is Yealink, and the second part is welcome speech for the Lonny. I'm gonna ask everybody one question. Let's be honest, how many of you have dealt with the frustrating meeting room tech? Some like the camera tracking that lost the speaker and or audio video system that requires endless programming, or sometimes you feel headache of the integrating the mismatched different vendors. The list are real challenges, and they are exactly what Yealink's next-gen solution are designed to solve. So if we dive deeper, I'd like to invite Lonny from the Co1 to share his perspective on these pain points. So Lonny, what do you think about it?
So my name is Lonny Bowers. I oversee and I'm the director of AV services at Call1. This is a division we started 2 years ago. And my background is audio and audio engineering and acoustics. So I was thrilled when they asked me to talk about this topic because it's what I'm passionate about and what I've been doing for about 30 years. So today, Call1 has established a primary focus with our audiovisual group to do Teams rooms. We see this as an emerging market. I think most of the requests today that we get for upgrades and for renovations, maybe at a 5 to 6 to 1 ratio, are for Teams rooms. So we've heavily invested in this area, and we have invested in not only training, but in the products, and audio is something that we come across a lot. So what I'd like to do is share kind of some of the challenges that we run into. And what I'm showing now is a recent project. Most spaces are similar to this, where we have a combination of huddle rooms, small rooms, large rooms, multi-purpose rooms. Each one of these rooms is expected to work the same way. So if somebody walks into this big multi-purpose room here on the bottom, they want it to work similar to the huddle rooms. And that's what Teams provides for us, so we can, have that shared interface. And if there are additional functionalities, we have solutions, including the Yealink solutions, to allow us to integrate them in. But one of the challenging things when we first talk to our clients and we talk about the renovation of rooms, or this is actually a new construction that I'm showing you, is with the paradigm shift to video bars and the popularity, there's people a lot of times want to try to use these in rooms where they may not be adequate. And a lot of the inadequacy is from the audio or the camera performance. So as we look at these rooms, when we broke down the rooms that I had in the previous slide, these were the requirements of the rooms. When we approached this project, it was the question was, well, can we just throw these video bars in all the rooms? And then when we got into deeper discovery and we understood what the client wanted to do, they certainly would have worked, and this is actually the devices we used, in the small to medium rooms, because we had screen sharing, we had audio from the screen sharing, and we had microphone and speaker coverage. But as we got into the larger rooms, we had challenges. And if I go back to this room here, this training room, and then this boardroom, we had to create a system that would allow people to be heard within the same room. They were actually far enough away where they had trouble hearing each other. So that's voice lift, where we were replacing audio. If somebody is 30 feet away, it may be hard to hear the person, so we're using the sound system to replace that audio. And in the larger multi-purpose room, where they do town halls and they have other presentations, we needed to do more of a public address approach, where somebody has microphones and they were going to be addressing a group, and then we still had the same challenges of picking up the entire room, which has flexible seating. So while doing this, one of the requests from the client, and we hear this a lot, is we want all these solutions, but we also want them to be managed through the same platform. So that's where we chose Yealink for this project, but it's one of the important requests that we get a lot as far as being able to, scale to larger sizes and also be able to have, the same platform between Teams and the Yealink solution to manage the site. So as we got into the larger rooms, we ran into some challenges. The first challenge in both larger rooms was to be able to accommodate the space with ceiling microphones and also to be able to scale, to add microphones, to be able to cover the room so people were evenly picked up and that somebody in the front of the room isn't being blasted with really loud sound to accommodate the people in the back of the room, which would happen with a video bar. So this is using ceiling speakers and, a scalable approach. The other issue we had is as you get into rooms and spaces that accommodate 50 people and that they require an ADA solution, meaning that I have to now enable my system to take an audio feed and provide it to assistive listening devices. So that's a mandatory requirement to have for any spaces renovated after 2010 that seat more than 50 people. And there's some light control. So our focus is to maintain the Teams remote control, but then any facility functions we can build into the Teams interface. On the performance side, it was a little more challenging because as we get into larger spaces, we standardize on using microphone array technology because of it works extremely well, and we can remove a lot of the reverberation of the room and the noise because of the technology. The array is built into the video bars, but it also is a tremendous upgrade to ceiling type microphones. Noise cancellation, sound shaping. So in these rooms, when we're doing voice reinforcement and we are sending microphone audio back to speakers, there's equalization and sound taping techniques that are important to have. And there's also the expectation that the video that we're sending from the room will be framed like Leo and I are, so that you can see us and you're not seeing a bunch of open space. So that's where the camera framing comes in, and the requirement to use the audio system to supplement the accuracy of the camera framing. And the last thing that we were concerned of, and that we run into a lot with large rooms, is when we're doing voice reinforcement, the audio has to come out of the speakers in a short amount of time, especially or as relates to the latency or the delay, or else it'll sound very unnatural and echoey. So these are all requirements that we run into and that we're seeing as far as that our solutions that you're going to learn about with the Yealink solution. So this slide here kind of violates my own rules of putting a lot of things on the page, but it's not to bore you with math. It's to share that the approach that we take, and I think that Yealink has taken with their products, is to audio is just math, is to do the math. I actually listed the formulas here, but to do the math, to understand how the systems will work before they actually go into the space. And the way that we do this math is we are, one of the challenges is, as I mentioned before, people want to use sound bars in a lot of spaces. And so the way that Call One does it is we have a calculator. So we can select the video bar that we're using, and we can model it based on the room requirements, the use case, the table size, etc. And we get feedback, and I'll explain what the scale is of how we model it. And one of the challenges in a lot of these spaces, and this was a challenge in the training room, was that the ceiling was not acoustic drop ceiling. It was a hard ceiling. So as the acoustics change, you'll see that the performance can vary, and it gets, it becomes lower speech intelligibility and lower quality. So that's why this part right here is so important. So with all this math and all this stuff on my screen that, nobody really, wants to get into, it all depends on what is the quality going to be of this room. So right now, the speech that you're hearing me at, and our goal in every system that we do is to achieve this excellent sound quality rating, which is what I have right now. I just switched over to a microphone, which is the same distance, but it's not a microphone array. It's an older technology. So my quality dropped down to the fair and to the poor area. So that's why the microphone technology is so important, and why we focus on making sure that we achieve the quality of, the excellent or good status. So I just switched back to excellent quality, but this chart right here kind of breaks it down a little more of what these ratings actually mean. And at the end of the day, our goal is to have clear audio that people don't have to pay attention to. It's very fatiguing to listen to audio that's echoey, reverberant, that's hard to understand. And it also, when you're using technologies like speech to text, like we use in Teams, the better your audio, the higher accuracy that technology is, and the recordings are better. So these are the things that we focus on. These are our design principles. We've found that the Yealink product line, especially the new expanded one, allows us to achieve these goals and to manage the products and hardware with one platform. So Leo, I'll turn it back over to you so you can get into the solutions we're talking about today.